Good morning. It is September 22nd and I look like crap. I am tired. My hair is not brushed. I have my pole ready and I just have to move it down to get ready to set up my feed and my infusions because you know what? I am 5'3" and I'm not that tall, but I have gravity feeds. Bringing it forward, we're just going to put that there. Now I'm bringing in my feeding tube supplies to set up my feed. I'm taking off my old gauze around my stoma and changing it out later. First things first, I get to open up my bag in which my feed bag is in. I will then blow it open and hook it onto the hook right above. And then I'll take my disgusting Cape Farms feed that smells like death and pour it into the bag. I've spilled that one too many times and it was the worst instance for me, so I do not recommend. Then next I'm going to clip it down, take it, and then start priming. I took that piece off at the end with my mouth, and I tell you, when I tell you that thing's gonna be in my mouth for like 8 minutes or 14. I literally just stayed in there as I put it's still in there. And moving on forward, I am setting up my sterile field for my port not access, but to open up to start my fluids. Proceeding on, I am now taking my saline out of the bag, but not before moving my pole back right next to me to open up. And then I have to tear the plastic again to get to the actual saline bag. I wish whenever you did everything for like your feeds, everything has to be sterile, especially with your port, but you just create so much plastic and that makes me feel like super duper uneco-friendly. So really at this point I have mugs, tumblers, reusable straws because I know I create a whole lot of waste, and that's completely beside the point, but that don't matter because it's something, literally it's like guilt. It's always there whether I like it or not, and at this point I am trying to prime my line and make sure that there's no bubbles because remember, air to the heart leaves your soul depart to the other world because you're gonna die. Moving on, I am now getting on my gloves and everything. I am trying to be as sterile as possible with these gloves because these gloves are normally for my home nurse, and my home nurse has bigger hands than me because I have the hands of a child because I am one, but I just get it from my mom, and they're too big for me, so I had to put everything on to be completely safe, and I couldn't tell which finger was which because once again they were too big. And then after doing that, I always just hand sanitize the gloves as well before I pick up my port, undo it, and then I do some alcohol wipe before I push out the air of the saline, flush it through, and then pull back to make sure that there's blood because you always want to make sure you're in the right place. And then after doing that, I will flush it all the way through, keep it on the hook, and not until I can get a new alcohol wipe pad to open it and then take it and then hook up to my actual fluids now. Because once again, alcohol wipe, twist around, and I am done with that portion. Now that everything's set up and done, I take off my gloves, and don't forget to always have a mask on when accessing or dealing with the port. And I'm cleaning up everything because once again, I made a mess. And now moving on, I'm prepping my stomach for my feeding tube pad because I have to make sure everything's nice and smooth down there. And now I am pressing all my buttons to turn everyone on so I can move on with my life and get everything done, and that's basically my morning routine. Thanks for watching.